Hello everybody, it's about 11 o'clock. I've already been to the storage and back. It's gonna get hot. I went this morning when it was still a little bit cool out and I didn't take anything out of the van and take it over to the new one. I was like, I'm not lifting. I just said I'm gonna go over there, load up what I can. But it's not that much stuff left. I was looking at it, I'm like, most of this is coming back to the house. I mean, a lot of it's empty bins it's stuff that's I mean, it's not as bad at all. It's just big things, So I think one more day, us doing it on Saturday, I might go over there tomorrow too and bring back stuff. But yeah. But anyway, that's boring crap. Excuse me. I have a trigger finger, so I have my little thing on. It's bothering me today. Okay, I'm going to tell you about me going to the psychic. I really needed to, because when I came back and I walked into that house, I walked into a major nightmare. I went through, I don't really want to get into right now of everything that I went through, because me telling the story, I'll get off on a tangent. This would be a lot longer. I just want to tell you kind of where I was emotionally and mentally when I went to the psychic, and this is why. It was a nightmare, a total nightmare, total nightmare. Everything I was being told on the phone was non and voided, and I walked into a mess. My house was a disaster. And here he was acting like he had a stroke. It affected his brain, but the people he had around him were not helping it. They were taking advantage of him. So he thought, it's okay, but that's all that part. We're not going into that. But that was what was going on. So I went through the thing. I ended up throwing people out, cleaned the place, started getting rid of stuff, taking care of him, getting him on hospice, getting him a hospital bed, doing all the things, And I am pissed. Oh, I'm so pissed at him. Even when he's alive, I would yell at him. Maybe that's not the right thing, but whatever. I don't really care. But I would, and I would be like, and he'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm there, it's like, but then I would hear him talking to somebody and saying, what, now you like her? Now you want to worry about it? And I'm thinking, what the hell? So, and then people were asking me things like, we thought you were the one having the affair, and I mean, things people were saying about me, and I was just mortified, because remember, I knew these people for 30 years. Okay, we weren't like this, but I've done nothing to them, and I wasn't even asking them to pick sides, I was very angry. When he died, I got even more angry, because I had to fix things that should have been fixed a long time ago, and from them not being fixed, they got worse. One day I'm in the house. Thank God I wasn't in the bedroom. My daughter was sleeping in the master bedroom, and the ceiling fell down. Yeah, I heard this big crash. Well, what it is the condenser thing for the air conditioner was up in the attic, and I guess in Florida, you got to clean out the slime. And everything going on, I completely forgot about it. And it just must have got wet enough and it fell through. Just the plaster. It had wood beams, so the thing itself wasn't coming down, but it was just the plaster. And I was horrified. I don't even know if I have those pictures anymore on my thing. But, so I called my brother, and my brother came down and fixed it the best he could, and some other spots, I didn't want to put a lot of money into it. At this point, I was like, this is after he died, and it's just, it took me a year to get the house ready to sell, to get rid of stuff, and, I mean, he had so much crap. But anyway, it was bad, and I was very, very angry, and I couldn't, I would have loved to held out on the house and got more than what I got for it. But at the point was either I'd gone through, now I've been there for a year, gone through all my savings. I'm at my daughter, thank God my daughter got a job 2 months before we bought this house, because, no, she was working about 6 months. No, take that back, a year. By the time we bought this house, I think she was already worked there a year by the time we were getting ready to put the house on the market. And that's when I told her, go and see what you can qualify for. And it was only $180,000. I had to put the rest, you know. I didn't get the kind of money I wanted for the house. There's a lot, you know. I was very bitter, angry. Every day I cussed his ass out more than once, you know, to the air, to the ground, to whatever, you know. I am better about it, believe me. You would, if I had video, you would think I was a wholly different person, because you wouldn't have recognized me, how angry I was. And I know I was, and I didn't give a shit. I was like, there was no help on his side of the family from anybody, any friends, anybody, nobody. The day he died, we heard from nobody, not even to this day. She has talked to her grandfather, and he was with us last holidays. This holiday, Alex is too busy for all that, and they don't call her. But he did call her, because nobody made contact for things. I can't deal with it anymore. You know, you knew what he was doing, and nobody called me. You know, nobody was looking out. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. And I can't care anymore. I can't be caring about people that I give too much and get nothing back, and I can't do that anymore. So I was, you know, that's kind of where I'm at. And then we get the house, and we move into the house. And my sister's like, you know, she's trying to, you know, and she understands, you know, and all that. And she says, you know what? I'm going to see if I can call this girl that I used to work with. And I can remember a long time ago, Donna would tell me her working with this girl, and saying things and how it came true, and she's good. I know, because my sister's kind of spiritual. Well, she is spiritual, but hers is a little different. And it's hard for her to do people that she's close to, because you don't know if you know too much, you know what I mean? So she doesn't, this lady doesn't know me. She knows nothing of me. Anyway, so she calls her, and she said, yeah, we made an appointment. We went down there one Saturday, and days, I knew weeks before, the appointment was a couple weeks after we made it. You know, we had a couple weeks to wait. And I remember every day I would say, you motherfucker, don't you show up. Don't you dare come to that meeting. I don't want to know nothing. My daughter wasn't going with me. It's just me and my sister. I don't want to know. I don't want to hear nothing from you. I'm done. Just stay away. Do not be there. And I was saying this the day we were going. I'm like, do not show up. So we go. And I think my sister's driving. Yeah, my sister was driving. And we stopped and we had breakfast. And we're talking. And you know what? This is such a correlation. You didn't realize it at the time. But this part here is very significant. I remember saying to her, you know what? I've got the frying pan that she got as a wedding gift when her and Daddy got married. And my mom got married in 1960 or something like that. And I was like, you know, I remember Mommy telling me the story about it, you know, and you know, it was like, yeah, you know, you're just talking, because we're really going to talk to my mom is what we wanted to do. We wanted to talk to my mom. And wait, funny thing how things work out. So we get there, and she gets into a chair. She lights some incense. We're on her little back little sunroom, really nice. She's got a little ding-dong music going, you know, I believe. Maybe not, I don't know. I think she did. And she had some crystals and stuff sitting by her chair, and we sat down. And her and my sister talked for a few minutes about, you know, hey, what you been doing, you know? I'm working here, now I'm doing, you know. And then as she's talking, she's rubbing this, and she's going, man, I'm getting a little feel of anxiety. I said, that's me. You're probably picking me up because I'm full of it. She's like, wow. No, she says, no, there's something. So she said, let's start. So she sits down in her chair with her legs crossed, and she's, they're talking. She's seeing, and she's like, oh. And we're like, what? She goes, because we're trying to talk to my mom. And my mom, let me give you a little personality about my mom. My mom was, she was her own worst enemy. She had terrible, terrible depression, terrible, terrible anxiety, which I'm sure that's where I'm getting my anxiety from. You know, so, you know, she didn't help herself a lot. You know, she just was like one of them would just lay down and die. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what happened to the end of her, because I think that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, she goes, yeah, she says she's a little apprehensive. But there's a guy named Gus with her, and she's sitting on a rock. She's sitting on a rock, and she's like, and when she went, like, whoa, she was like, oh my God, okay, somebody's coming through, somebody's bulling right through, somebody's coming right through. And we're like a bull in a china shop. And I was like, because that's what we used to call him. I'm like, oh my God. And she said, this is where it's gonna get me. Oh, bear with me. I might have to do this in 2 parts. I am so sorry. You didn't deserve that. Don't believe everything you hear about people are saying about you. Hang on. Don't believe everything you're hearing about what people are saying about you. Know your worth. And he was like, I have mother, it was, how did he say it? I couldn't get out of my head because of my childhood. He didn't say mother about his mother, but I know his father and I know his mother. And I couldn't get out of my own head. And oh God, I broke down. And she said, oh my God, he bulled through there. He was like, no, she's gonna hear me. She's gonna hear me. Because he knew I kept saying, do not show up. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to take a break. Sorry about that. And she said he was in there, coming in there like a bull, you know, it's like, she's gonna listen to me. I have to say this. And he's like, well, I gotta go. Because she's saying, he said he's gotta go now. Because he's got things to do, which that is exactly who he is. I mean, if he's up in heaven doing what he did down here, I was lucky to get that 5 minutes, because the man was always busy. And this is before he went bad. You know what I mean? Drugs got him. Unfortunately, it was drugs. And he left, you know, he left. And then my mom, she said my mom was coming through, and my mom was telling us, you know, and the way she was saying it would be just like how my mom would. It's okay, don't worry about me, girls. You know, it's okay. I'm okay. You know, I know I gotta do what I gotta do. And what she saw with my mom, she says, how I see it is everybody has a cord attached to them. The thicker the cord, the more you haven't learned yet. She said hers used to be very, very big, and it is getting smaller. And she hasn't learned a lot of her life lessons yet, you know. So that's why this Gus guy, I could have swore she worked with a guy named Gus who liked her and wanted to marry her, but she wasn't attracted to him. You know, that's why I even telling my sister that day, and I could swear. Oh, I don't want to swear, but that just keeps nagging at me. And maybe that is him, and he is up there with her, and he's helping her. She said he's there to help her. And as she's telling us this, she goes, there's a rock, and there's something under the rock. There's a snake under the rock. And as she's looking at it, and she's like trying to figure out why is this showing up, and she's reading Bobby, Robert, was it Rob, you know. And me and my sister looked at each other, and it was my dad. Because his name was Robert, but they called him Bobby. And she said, he's a snake. He's a snake. They don't have power of us. You know, when you have something that's done very bad to you in life, like my father, who abandoned us when we were very young and whatever, but, I'm looking down there like it's down there. You know, it's, because I've always said, don't come near me. You know, because I'm the type of person, I'm done with you. But, you know, and maybe that's, and then she says the snake she's going, oh, he's coming out of the hole. My mom comes over with that frying pan. She says and I don't know if it's the exact one, but she says she's got a frying pan. Your mom's coming at him with the frying pan. She goes, your mom used to hit him on the head? And I'm like, not with a frying pan. And then it dawned on me, remember we were talking about the frying pan when they were married? And she's beating him on the head, saying, you are not going to mess with my daughters. You know, and he slithered on back down there. Because she's on a higher level plane than he is. And it was like, you know. Oh, I knew it was gonna, even if I told this story 10 years from now, I'd still be doing this. But she's like, you know, I'm fine, don't worry about me. She also did some kind of like Reiki thing on me. And she says, I never know what kind of language I'm going to speak in. She says, so, you know, you may not understand it, but it's just whatever spiritual guide comes out, you know. And I think when she did it to me, it sounded Native American, which would make sense because of the spirituality that we have in our family. I don't think we have any. We used to think we had Indian in us until we did our tree. You know, maybe we do. It's just saying it's not me. You know what I mean? Because we were always told we were growing up, our grandmother was our great-great-great-grandmother was a full-blooded Blackfoot Indian. So we thought for years, but it still could be. It's just not any in me, you know, because I always thought I was Italian. My mom was but my grandmother's German and my grandfather was full-blooded Italian. So, but I've got more of the Irish in me and the Welsh and the German, you know, in me, where my mom had more of Italian in her. My sister did get hers done. I can't remember, but I think she had more Italian in her than me, or she had something, I can't remember. But so it doesn't really matter, you know. It's really interesting if you've never done your DNA thing. But anyway, she did it, and I did feel better. I felt, you know, I cried for 2 days. I didn't, after that, I wasn't so angry. Because, man, I was angry. I'm telling you. It was bad. And I'm not as angry. I am hurt. I am pissed. I won't lie. And there is days I say, you son of a bitch. And there's days I go, God, I miss you. I miss the old you. But it's not every day where I'm like, you know, we've been in this house about 1.5 years. So it's been about 1.5 years since I went. So I'm doing a lot better. You know, I don't have the money that I wanted. But I will figure something out. I don't know what I'm going to do, but trying to think of, then my daughter went a couple weeks later for her, because she wanted to contact her dad. And I'll tell that another time, because this will be too long here. I don't know how long this one's going to be, but yeah, that was interesting too. That was very interesting. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else that was said. I'm sure there was, but I just can't remember. I need to get my journal out, because I wrote it down right after that. I know after I had moved back from North Carolina to Florida, and it was all quiet one day in the house. This is the old house. The upstairs, you had a little hallway, and then went upstairs to her apartment, and we used to knock on the door, on the wall, you know, and she'd come out, what you want, you know. And it was all quiet. I must have been doing stuff that day, and I went and laid down and took a nap, and I had a dream that was just as real could be, that I was at the bottom of that step knocking on that wall, and I'm like, Ma, and it was almost, here's the stairs, there's a wall, okay, these are the stairs, and this is the wall, okay, and this would be the door. This, from the door, the wall, and into her apartment, like, became invisible. And she was standing there going, my mom always had on a nightgown when she was home. You know, it was more comfortable. And she had on one of the nightgowns that I gave her a long time ago, that I remember. It was pink with little yellow, or it was red roses with green flowers, but the material was pink. And she's just sitting up there just waving and smiling, and I'm like, Mom. And then she just faded away, and I remember standing there in the so-called dream and going, Mom, and I'm like touching the wall, and then I woke up, and I was like, holy fuck. I got out of the bed, went down the hallway, and even knocked on the wall, and I started crying, talking to my mom and all that. But yeah, I know she came to see me. I know she did. And let me tell you something else. She died in North Carolina, and they called me and told me I can come pick up her ashes. So I go there. I got her in the car, and I strapped her in the seatbelt. And I'm talking to her. And I get back to the house, and I kind of put her on her bed that would have been her room. And I remember I closed up the house saying, good night, Mom, you know, because it was like her room here, then the bathroom, and then my room, okay? And then you had the kitchen and living room this way. So I'm in bed, I'm on my side watching my iPad, and I'm not facing my bedroom door, I'm facing the other way. And I heard something, and I remember I'm on my side, and I leaned up, and I kind of looked over my shoulder. And as I looked over my shoulder, this ball, this big, comes through my door, out her door, into my bedroom door, and like out the corner of the room, disappears. I was not scared at all. And it took me a second, and I'm going, oh my God, that was Ma. I said, Ma, I know you're here. You know, yeah. And that, oh. So I know she's around. And I know she's around here watching over Maya and Alex. And I know Vince is too. You know, I know they are. Every day I say, you watch her, Vincent. You take care of them too. Every day I say that. Make sure they're okay. Look after them. Okay. Okay, I think that's about it. I will tell you about my daughters one day, and that helped her too, because now she realizes a lot of things. But you know, you do. It's all a learning lesson, this whole world, this whole life, everything. And you just can do the best you can, and that's, you know, quit trying to be so hard on myself. And you know, that's why I moved away from that town, because I didn't want to be nowhere near. He knows a lot of people, and that I'd end up in trouble somehow or another, because I don't trust any of them. And yeah, so I'm just better off. And when I'm done, you know. That's how it is. Oh, okay. I am gonna go. Let me know what you think of my story. Every bit of it's true. I swear on everything that I love in this world that is precious to me, every ounce of it is true. And y'all have a good day. Thanks for listening. Bye.